Today on Commander Replay, Commander 2019 week continues with Marisi, Breaker of the Coil. Find out what happens when opponents' creatures attack when they don't want to. Next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in Roger Casaboom. Roger, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Today's deck list comes as voted on by Patreon supporters, with Marisi taking down 30% of the vote. Welcome back everyone, playing some Marisi, Breaker of the Coil today, and today we're going to be goading some of our opponent's creatures. This is going to be a combat-centric deck, and our goal is going to be to try to give some creatures to our opponents, power up their creatures, and incentivize them to attack our other opponents. I've tried a few decks like this in the past, not necessarily on the channel. I've never really got them to work the way I want to, and maybe it's just that conversation of accepting that you're not going to win all of the time when you just give your opponents a lot of stuff. However, I think Marisi does have a lot of tools built in to make that strategy much more viable than it's been in the past. So people have told me that Marisi is a ton of fun, and I'm really excited to try this one out today, so we'll see what happens. Here comes a turn 1 Arbor Elf for Champion of Thune. We did keep an opening hand that looks like this. We draw into a Steel Shaper's Gift on our turn 1. We have 3 lands. We have an Enlightened Tutor. I think I'm going to Enlightened Tutor at the end step and go for Sylvan Library on turn 2. That card's pretty ridiculous, so I feel like that's the thing that we want to be doing. So taking a look at what Marisi does, it's 1 Anaya for a 5/4. It says your opponents can't cast spells during combat. That's some pretty helpful text right there. Though I really wish it said during your turn. I do wish it was more Grand Abolisher, just because if someone's got like a Cyclonic Rift, they can still do it before your combat or after your combat, and that's still a headache. Just that they don't necessarily get to do it once you've already declared attackers, so I don't know. I wish they made that ability just a bit stronger. Maybe it's too strong if they do it, but I have been waiting for that card to come out at some point. The legendary creature that's essentially a Grand Abolisher, and haven't gotten it yet. Anyway, the other ability on Marisi says, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, goad each creature that player controls. Goad is a very underrated mechanic. It is really good at disrupting your opponents. And the thing I like about this is that it doesn't even have to be Marisi. It's just any creature you control. So you can just lay down some cheap flyer and get in there with it. And you're going to goad all of their stuff. And you're going to force some opponents into some attacks or some tough decision making. So really, really cool ability. I like it a lot. And I'm excited that they made a commander that can really show off the ability, because we haven't really had anything in the past. Like, I've seen it come up a few times in like Renzo decks and things like that, and it's really disruptive. It causes headaches for the plans that you're trying to make, so excited to get that going. And opponents do a bunch of stuff, lay down some creatures, gain some life back on the Soul's Attendant, and they got a Signet, Ancient Tomb. Lots of things in play for the Xenagos. They got some pretty good ramp going right now. At the end step, we're going to cast this Enlightened Tutor, get Sylvan Library, bring it back to our turn, play the Arid Mesa, crack the Arid Mesa, get a Plateau, play the Sylvan Library, and we will pass the turn like that. One thing this hand's missing is a little bit of ramp. Hopefully we can take a look at some with the Sylvan Library. We do have some fun equipments in the deck. I didn't go full equipment theme with this one, but that is a thing that you can do. I had looked at Sunforger for a little bit, but I play a lot of Sunforgers, so I'm just going to take it easy on the Sunforger today. But there are a lot of great options that you can go for, particularly when you're trying to power up your opponents and give them creatures, which is a thing that this deck will be doing some amount of. Having access to Comeuppance, Teferi's Protection, Settle the Wreckage, that type of stuff is really good if opponents end up trying to swing our way. So things to keep in mind. Pretty excited about this Blade of Selves, because we could potentially goad all 3 of our opponents if they can't block. Seems like a fun little trick, so I'm excited about that one. And we got Blackblade Reforged in there just for some extra damage. We also have an Assault Suit in the deck, which if we get far enough into the game, that's a thing that we may explore. See if we can have some Assault Suit fun. So anyway, getting caught up on our opponents, Dave lays down a Greater Oromancy. Enchantments they control have Shroud. It's kind of a headache. And then we got a Mana Crypt coming in, and Authority of the Consuls. Oh, God. And opponent casting their commander, Brion Stoutarm, into play, so everyone's just ramping like crazy, so far ahead of what we got going on. There's a newer-ish board wipe that I'm excited about. I can't remember the name of it. It's like Rampage of the Clans or something like that. It blows up all artifacts and enchantments and creates a 3/3 beast, I think, for each artifact and enchantment that it blows up. So another fun little way to kind of stop our opponent's mana production and other stuff and just give them a ton of creatures and watch them attack each other to death. And that's the main plan of this deck. So hopefully we'll run into that one at some point, get rid of some of the nonsense on board. Nature's Lower for our opponent, gonna get themselves a land. And here comes Mina and Den, all the mana ramp. Down to 1 card in hand though, so hopefully it's not some big dragon that'll come down after Xenagos and start taking people out of the game. That would be unfortunate. Vexing Church are going to do some attacking into the Angus Mackenzie. They go back down to 40. And with that brings us back to our turn. We draw a land. Take a look at the Sylvan Library. We've got Duelist Heritage and Rhythm of the Wild. What are we doing right here? We don't need both. Rhythm of the Wild's going to be good against Dave, I think, so we'll probably want to get that one. I do like Duelist Heritage too, though. Our Pillow Fort doesn't come in till turn 5. It seems like a long ways away from now, but I think we're going to keep one on top. We'll put the Duelist Heritage back on top. You know what? Maybe we'll put the land back on top, actually, and we'll keep the other 2 in hand. Oh, nope, we should have kept that. We should have kept that. This one does, in fact, come in tapped, so I had meant to cast a 3-drop this turn, so we'll call that a whoops right there. We'll lay down this Blackblade Reforged, because if anyone has artifact removal, they'll probably shoot it that way. Blackblade Reforged does tend to be scary. Here comes a Signet for the Angus Mackenzie, and we'll take a look at what our opponents are playing today. First up, we have Dave playing Angus Mackenzie, the Turbo Fog deck, and if this is the build that he ran last time, it's going to be a Test of Endurance deck, and he's going to fire off a Personal Tutor right here. Yep. What's he grab? He grabs a Time Twister, so we're probably going to be getting a new hand next turn, which means, I don't know, just try to get Rhythm of the Wild into play, I think is going to be the plan. He is all about his wheel effects. Opponent says they support this Time Twister. Yeah, I like the stuff in our hand. Our hand will probably get worse, although we might find some mana ramp, which seems like it might be a good idea. So Mana Crypt flip for the Brion Stoutarm. Wins the flip. And so next up we have Tyrant of Ruin piloting Brion Stoutarm, the Steal Your Opponent's Creatures and Fling Them at Their Face deck. Surprisingly, it's a Boros Commander that I haven't actually played. I don't think I've made any serious attempts at a Brion Stoutarm deck, though I hope to at some point in time. There's been so many new ones, and ones that aren't particularly easy to master, like Gerard and Feather. Take quite a bit of time. Also Fire Song and Sunspeaker, so haven't had the time to circle back to Brion Stoutarm, but it is something I hope to do in the future. Maybe not the best for us if they're trying to steal all of our stuff. We do need to keep our commander into play for it to be successful, so there is that. And anyway, that'll bring us to our final opponent, Champion of Thune, piloting Xenagos, God of Revels, and they're going to cast Xenagos. Xenagos coming into play. I think things are going to start to look pretty big and intimidating right here. Soul's Attendant and Authority of the Consoles will trigger. Opponents gaining life. A lot of life gain this game. Xenagos says not attacking into Brion Stoutarm's open mana. Yeah, I'm all about that. That's it's a fine strategy, although that probably means either Dave's way or our way, so let's see which way they go. Xenagos trigger on the Mina and Den. It's an 8/8. Yup, it's coming our way. Ouch. And the Shusher, here's a hit for 10. No bueno. Down to 25. That is going to slow our use of the Sylvan Library by quite a bit. I think I would love to see land, Mana Crypt, get this Sphere of Safety into play, or just a board wipe. Board wipe would also be, oh, that's a Galta. Oh my. Oh my. Well, brings it back to our turn. Let's take a look at the Sylvan Library. Gonna need something good. 3 lands is not it. Yes, put a land on top. Put a land on top. Play the tap land. Get the... Maybe if we put Duelist Heritage down, they'll attack somewhere else. Rhythm of the Wild, probably not the best with Authority of the Consoles in play. Nothing will have haste. It still gives us can't be countered, but beyond that, I don't know if it's going to do all that much for us. Here comes... Ooh, opponent's going to play Angus, not the Time Twister. Okay, okay. Angus comes in tapped. I wonder if they're sitting on anything, because Galta could just take someone out of the game. You know, the question I have is, when did Commander become a turn 4 format? Because that's essentially what it's looking like right now. Brion Stoutarm going to do some attacking. Making a deal with opponents, looking to deal with the threats on board. Oh, opponent's got a Wrath. Said they'll Wrath if we double strike. So we will give him some double strike. Dave gonna block with the Soul's Attendant. Soak up 1 of that damage. Oh, actually, nope, trample. No trample. Soaks up all the damage. Opponent follows it up with the Wrath of God. Whoo. Slowing the game down. Things were starting to look pretty fast right there. That was getting a bit scary. Opponent said they just wanted the life. Yeah, that seems fair. Although, actually, with the double strike, They actually still only gain 4, so they go up to 49 on all of that. That'll bring it back to our turn. Here's another Sylvan Library trigger. I knew there were 2 lands from last time. Let's see what we're looking at. We got land, a Selfless Spirit. Okay, okay. What are we doing? Stomping Ground back on top, and we'll draw the Selfless Spirit, play the land. How many enchantments do we have? We'll have 3 enchantments. I think this is Fear of Safety time. That's the one I think we need more than anything else against the Xenagos right now. Hopefully Dave doesn't just wheel, otherwise the life we just spent on the Selfless Spirit probably won't be the best. But we do have 3 enchantments, so it would probably be fairly unlikely that Xenagos can cast something big and still pay the Sphere of Safety. Yep, here comes the Time Twister, so yep. We burn 4 life needlessly. Hopefully we find our true conviction. Nope, mostly a lot of lands. Blade of Selves comes back to us, that's a good one. Force of Vigor could be helpful. Zendikar Resurgent, still a few turns away from being good. Let's check out the alternate cost on this Force of Vigor. If it's not your turn, you may exile a green card from your hand rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Probably not going to exile the Zendikar Resurgent for it. I think that one's a little bit too valuable. Dave finds his way into a bunch of stuff, lays down a Soul Ring, gets himself some boots. Mana crit flip for the Brion Stoutarm. They're up to 49, so... Ooh, nice. Opponent's going to Cross and Grip the authority of the consoles. And that may actually change what we do this turn, because we can play the Hainware Battlements and get our commander in with haste. So that seems like it might be pretty good. Opponent plays a Strip Mine. Have to watch out for that. We've got some interesting utility lands, although they're a little bit light. They're a little bit light on lands. I think it's going to be a little while before they're using that Strip Mine on anything. Here comes a Talisman. Sure. Opponent's going to Oblation on the Xenagos. Okay, okay. Opponent's trading some removal back and forth. I'm down for that. Xenagos back to the command zone. Opponent draws a bunch of cards. With Generous Gift, I don't know. I don't really use Oblation. I haven't really used Oblation that much anyway. I always found that if I did use it, I was probably using it to draw myself. I don't know. It's a lot to give your opponent. Like, sure, it's probably better than the thing you're getting rid of, but I don't know. Such a trade-off, and now with Generous Gift being a card, definitely in the Generous Gift boat, because the 3/3 is so much less beneficial to them than just giving them 2 cards. So, Sylvan Library trigger for our opponent. Yeah, they've got some resources available. 9 cards in hand. Opponent says Xenagos into 3 Pillow Fort decks. Yup, sad face. Here comes a Sylvan Caryatid, sure, and a Cultivate, and a Basilisk Collar. Oh, that's interesting. Probably for the Death Touch and Trample. Lifelink is cool too. So that brings it back to our turn. There's a Maze of Ith, and a Windborn Muse. Okay, okay. Definitely put the planes back. Do we Maze of Ith this turn? It's so helpful to have around. I think I'm paying 4 for the Maze. Let's keep the Maze. We're really burning all of our life with this Sylvan Library. Play the Maze. Maybe we... Yeah, let's get the Windborn Muse into play. So next turn we could potentially cast our commander and then just fly over with the Windborn Muse, and that seems like it should be pretty good. So, well, let's pass the turn like that. Maybe we need a Luxodon Warhammer in the deck for all the life that we're painting ourselves. Here's a Mystical Tutor from Dave. Let's see what he's getting. Gets Echo of Eons. Each player shuffles their hand in their graveyard into the library, then draws 7 cards. We've got 4 lands in hand, so our hand could certainly be better. Oh, that's a Dramatic Reversal. Well, I guess he's not infinite with it. That's good news. Just going to use it for some extra mana right there. Here comes the Echo of Eons. Yup. So everyone getting new hands once again. This time we've got a Bedlam. Ooh, we've got Varchild, Fleet Feather Sandals, Stonehewer Giant, and Bedlam. And a Steel Shaper's Gift. So we can do some stuff with this. Finally some mana ramp in there. Oh, Blind Obedience. That'll shut down haste, so that's not the best. Ooh, and Greater Oromancy is in play, so enchantments have Shroud. Gonna be difficult to get rid of the Blind Obedience. There's a Divining Top for our opponent, sure. Gonna take a look at the Divining Top. Seems that maybe they didn't care for what they drew. Here comes Seasoned Pyromancer. Enters the battlefield, discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. For each non-land discarded this way, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. I can't decide if I like this card in Commander yet. I don't know. Seems okay. I guess after a wheel, it's probably fine, especially if you have lands you don't need. Opponent's gonna Wear Tear on Sylvan Library and Basilisk Collar. Kind of needed to get the Greater Oromancy. Here comes Abundance for the Xenagos. Here comes a Nature's Lore. Yep. And a Birds of Paradise. Sure. And the Vexing Shusher. Brings it back to our turn. Let's see what we draw. There's a land. Lands, Selfless Spirit. Okay, yep. Let's put the forest back. Put the Selfless Spirit back. We'll draw the fetch land, just so we can get a shuffle. I guess we have the Farseek. Farseek would shuffle for us, but we'll play the Flooded Strand right here. Let's get Varchild into play. It will come in tapped, so haste isn't going to matter so much. We've got 3 mana left. That's going to be... Let's try Farseek. Get our first piece of ramp this game, turn 7. Whew. Not even a particularly exciting piece of ramp. Let's get Taiga. Crack the Flooded Strand. Down to 16. Ooh, life gain is needed. We have 2 basics. We do not have 2 basics. I think we're just getting a Plains then. Get a Plains. Cast the Steel Shaper's Gift. I'm going to get a Salt Suit because I think it's funny. If we can put a Salt Suit on Varchild, that seems like it could be pretty silly. We could attack someone for 4 with the Windborn Muse. We would have no blocking ourselves, but we still have Sphere of Safety, and we've got Maze of Ith. That seems fine. We'll attack Dave. We'll send in the Windborn Muse, give it double strike, and he's going to Pongify our Windborn Muse. I guess that's fine. Really trying to keep his life total high. At least we get a creature back on the deal. We'll come in tapped, though. Here comes another Mystical Tutor. Yep. Gets himself a Fog. Uh-oh. Fog is bad for our deck. Fog is bad for our deck. I hope he doesn't wheel this turn, though. I really want to get this Bedlam into play. And he's going to Sphinx's Revelation X6. Okay. Probably means he won't wheel for a couple turns unless he draws all garbage, but... And here comes a Mox Amber. Yep. Not making any mana currently. Dave unfortunately has that Fog. If we cast Marisi, he'll have to remember to do it while it's on the stack. We'll see if he's up for that. That could work. Here comes Brion Stoutarm into play tapped. Yep. Stoneforge Mystic into play tapped. It's probably a good time for a Sunforger. A lot of enchantments that need to get blown up. It's a Sunforger. The Survivors will enter tapped off of Varchild. Here comes a Skyshroud Claim for the Xenagos. Yep. Here comes Xenagos into play. It enters... Ooh, that's interesting. It enters untapped because it was not a creature as it entered. I don't think it doesn't become a creature until state-based effects apply, which is apparently after it enters, so that is interesting. Opponent going on the attack with the Vexing Shusher. I can't really tell where, but we're going to double strike it. It's going into Dave. Hopefully, let's see if he burns the Fog right here. He does not. He goes down to 40. Brings back to our turn. There's a Wheel of Fortune. Not really looking to use that at the moment. Dave will probably just wheel us before we need it anyway. Take a look at the Sylvan Library. We've got Emeria and Famiko. Our planes count as 4 currently. I forgot that it tells you that, and you don't need to count manually anymore. Definitely put the Wheel of Fortune back on top. Famiko. Do we really need Famiko? I don't think Famiko's worth the life yet. So, we're going to equip the Varchild with Blackblade Reforged. Oh, I forgot to play the Bedlam. Duelist Heritage will trigger. Well, Dave says do it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, he's going to block. Oh, sad face. Seasoned Pyromancer down. So for main phase 2, I think we're going to get the Stone Hero Giant into play. It seems like a good time to do that. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll probably get wheeled again at some point. Assault Suit might make it back into the deck. Also, we could put something like Whisper Silk Cloak on the Varchild. Won't be able to give it double strike, but it'll still be pretty silly. Here comes Authority of the Consoles. Yep, more pillow forting. There's a Propaganda. Even more pillow forting. And it's going to pass like that with a bunch of open mana. That smells like a Cyclonic Rift. Here comes Dawn of Hope. Going to activate the Stoneforge Mystic. Get Sunforger. Equip the Sunforger. Hope is a red elemental blast for this Rift that's probably coming. I'm going to swing into Dave. I don't know if he remembered about the Propaganda. Probably change his mind after that. Oh. He is not leaving up Sunforger mana. That seems like a bad idea. We'll give him Double Strike. It's got Double Strike. That is a commander. Yep, here's the Rift. The Dawn of Hope was incorrect right there. Unless he's got a Mana Tithe or something. Opponent's going to path our Varchild. That gets us ramp. Let's get a Plains. I would love to catch an Austere Command off the top if we could get rid of all this nonsense. That would be huge without blowing up any of our stuff. Birds of Paradise back to play. Signet back to play. Authority of the Consoles will trigger. There's an Atarka World Render. Yep. Here, that one's pretty good. Brings back to our turn. It's a Zendikar Resurgent. Maybe we're doing that. Have a bunch of white cards we want to get back into play, so try to save our white mana if we can. Play the Emeria. We've got 4 total mana remaining. So I guess Sylvan Library and Blackblade Reforged. And we'll pass like that. Soul Attendant, back to play. Opponent's got an Extort trigger. No Extort. We're up to 5 planes on this Emeria, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Another wheel could get us into the planes we need. But a wheel would also get rid of the creatures in the graveyard, so that may not be the most helpful either. Here comes Angus back to play. Yep. He's got some boots for it, so we can use Angus right away if he equips it. Yep, equip the boots onto Angus. Got 4 total mana up, one of which is a strip mine. Actually 5 with the signet. 6 with the amber. Okay, so he's still got a lot of mana left. Yep, 7 with the birds. Yeah, lots and lots of open mana. Is this the wheel? Yep, flashing back. Here comes the wheel. We catch things that not super helpful. Really hoping on the austere command right there. Probably want to get this Remorseful Cleric into play so we can start exiling graveyards, because I know if you exile Dave's graveyard, you can actually remove some of the combo pieces. Here comes a Mystic Remora. Yep. More card draw. Stoneforge Mystic coming in. Yep. Trigger the Authority of the Consuls and the Soul's Attendant. Sunforger's back. Ooh, that's a Tormod's Crypt. That's really big against Dave's deck. Does trigger the Mystic Remora, and the card draw is probably going to be an issue. That's a Blasphemous Act. That'll take down the Angus. And all that means is that just means that Xenagos needs to cast their commander and some other creature, and they can actually get in for some damage. Ooh, it's a Heroic Intervention. All right. That does tap him out of colored mana, though. Can't use Angus this turn. And they're going to extort. Gets us for 1. Oh, that gets rid of the dragon, though. Authority of the Consul is still a problem. Here comes Brion Stoutarm back to play. Yep. And opponent's above 52. It is a test of endurance deck, so that's scary. Really need a board wipe to stick against Dave. Gotta get rid of some of his stuff. Here's a Crozen Grip on the Greater Oromancy. Oh, that's a Hull Breach. What's it going for? Blind Obedience and Swiftfoot Boots. Authority of the Consul's still a problem. Cultivate for our opponent. All right, that brings it back to our turn. Sylvan Library trigger. There's a Mirari's Wake. Oh, boy. We can get a lot of mana going with that. Let's see what else we got. Really hoping for that Austere command. Opponent's going to cycle a land. Sure. Take a look with the library. Rishkar's Hunter's Insight. Ooh. No, I don't think we're going to need... we'll put both of those back on top. Mirari's Wake should be pretty crazy right here. Play the land. Now on 6 planes. Get the Mirari's Wake in. That'll trigger the Mystic Remora. Let's get the Sky Shroud claim. So our lands make triple now. Seems pretty good. He's going to draw so much with this Mystic Remora. How many basics do we have? We have a couple planes. All right, so we're going to get the... we're going to get Canopy Vista and a Forest right here. I really don't want to pay the life. Play Cultivate. Get Plains Mountain. Put the planes into play tapped. We're on 8 planes now. Sweet. If our creatures die, we can get them back. Start playing creatures. Get the Remorseful Cleric. Zendikar Resurgent will trigger. We draw a land. Not helpful. Authority of the Consul's Soul's Attendant will trigger. Time to auto these. Play the Windborn Muse. We draw a Thaumatic Compass. Probably try to get that one in. More triggers. Let's get our commander finally. Get our commander. It's going to leave us with a bunch of leftover mana. Play the Thaumatic Compass. I think I'm actually going to pay for this one. Let's get Stoneforge Mystic. We draw a Sphere of Safety. We've run out of creatures, unfortunately, so that's going to be about the end of the card draw. Use the ability. We'll get the Assault Suit just so we have it. And we'll pass like that. Hopefully we don't get comboed off right here. We probably will. Thaumatic Compass will flip over. Mana Crypt flip. Opponent keeps the Mystic Remora around. Privilege position. Yup. Sterling Grove. Uh-oh. Here comes the win condition. Comes Jace's Archivist. No boots on it, so it doesn't have haste. Here comes another Time Twister. Yep. Are we exiling this stuff? I think so. So we'll get a new hand with Time Twister. Oh, all lands. Wow. That is bad. We do have a Hunter's Insight. I guess Hunter's Insight, Blackblade Reforged could get us into a lot of cards, but that assumes that Dave doesn't have interaction or fog effects, and his commander is Fog on a Stick, so someone else would need to get in there for a bunch of damage first, or at least try to. Ooh, Hunter's Insight is an instant. Here comes a Signet. Yep. Here comes Recruiter of the Guard. Yep. Ooh, that's a Kiki Jiki. That's interesting. They go for the combo right there. What do we have for that combo? We have a Windborn Muse, so even if they go infinite, they wouldn't be able to pay infinite. Here's a Faithless Looting. Okay. Mystic Remora will trigger. I would love a Faithless Looting right here. We have so many lands in hand. Opponent pitches 2 lands. Opponent is 1 mana short of going Kiki Jiki Village Bellringer. I don't know if they have Village Bellringer, but if they did. And they're going to swing over to the Angus opponent. Opponent paying for the Propaganda. Gonna block with the birds. Okay. Not block with the birds. I think they realize that birds is important mana for the Angus. So gets in for 4 commander damage. Dave down to 61. Here comes Oblation targeting the Recruiter of the Guard. That's interesting. Opponent doesn't like what's in their hand. Oh, that's a Grand Abolisher. Nice. Grand Abolisher shuts down our Mazavith. Could be annoying. Here comes a Vexing Shusher. Yep. Back to play for the, what, third or fourth time? Authority and Soul's Attendant will trigger. Kodama's Reach, yep. Pays for the Remora. And it's going to bring it back to our turn. We need some big draws. Opponent's going to put Trample on our Marisi. Cool. Still don't have a way through Angus, though. There's Fumiko. That's Force of Vigor. Force of Vigor starts to be helpful. So put Fumiko back. I'm going to put Eureka back on top as well. So I think the plan right here is to swing into Brion Stoutarm and try to draw as many cards as possible with the Hunter's Insight. Let's play Kessig Wolf Run. Equip Blackblade Reforged. Maybe we'll go into the Xenagos opponent. So swing into Champion Athune. Got a 24-23 Marisi. Opponents can't cast spells. Let's try the Hunter's Insight. Remora will trigger. He can draw. You have to use an odd amount of mana to actually be able to pay for it. See if he fogs. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Yep, here comes the fog. Yeah, I thought that might happen. Now we've got a lot of not much happening. Let's play the Blade of Selves. Actually, we can just use Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, well, too late. Quit Blade of Selves. Pass the turn like that. See if he activates the Jace's Archivist. We've got Force of Vigor in hand. We'll probably try to blow some stuff up with that. There's a Path to Exile on the Brion Stoutarm. Uh-oh. I don't think we can Force of Vigor any of the enchantments. Here comes the Jace's Archivist. Yep. Yeah, we can't, only... crap. Yep, only board wipes work now because of Sterling Grove and Privilege Position combo. Alright. I don't think it really helps to blow up any of our opponent's stuff. So we'll just let it get wheeled. There's a Settle the Wreckage. There's Eureka. There's an Aurelia. Aurelia's spicy. Notably, we have some creatures, so we can draw more cards. Comes Burgeoning. Yep. Land tax. And passes with a bunch of open mana. Probably another Rift. Interestingly, with Grand Abolisher down, he can't Angus Mackenzie. I wish, and we can't do this, but I wish we could. Because of the Grand Abolisher, we also can't Kessig Wolf Run during his turn, because I totally would if it came to that. Ooh, you want to know what, though? Fumiko keeps Angus Mackenzie from being able to sit back. So we'll definitely want to get Fumiko in this turn. Oh, wait, I misspoke. Grand Abolisher does not shut off lands. It only hits artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. So, yeah, we can Kessig Wolf Run for a lot. Glacial Chasm's in his graveyard. I would love to get that one exiled if we can get the Remorseful Cleric back. Here comes a Scroll Rack. Opponent's going to activate the Scroll Rack. Digging for some stuff. Has a Winding Canyons. That's a spicy one. Card I probably need to use a bit more than I do. Here comes Divining Top. That's an Hour of Revelation, and it can't be countered. Oh my. I guess that's just going to hit. Ameri is active for us, so that's good news. Where do we send our commander? I actually don't know if we're going to regain priority. Oh, yep, we didn't regain priority in time, so commander goes back to the command zone. Our other stuff going down. We can get our Windborn Muse back. We can also get our Stoneforge Mystic back. Stoneforge Mystic can get us something with haste, and that seems pretty good. We can also just go in on Aurelia. That's a thing we can do, too. Oh, well, there's a Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Means Aurelia's going to the graveyard. We can get Aurelia back with Ameria. This seems like a familiar line of play to me. Here comes an Enlightened Tutor. Okay. I did actually like the things in our hand, finally. Sad to see this go. See if they had Cyclonic Rift. Yep, they've had Cyclonic Rift. Nice. Alright, what do we get? We get Ghostly Prison, Bedlam. Here comes a Soul Ring down for our opponent. And mostly a lot of lands. Ugh. Here comes Talisman. Definitely can't use his Ancient Tomb. We're going to stay away from that one. Probably go for the Rogue's Passage. Seems like the most helpful. Here comes a Skull Clamp. Yep. Opponent's going to cycle another land. Pretty sure they've already cycled that one. All the wheels going. They're recycling things back. Here comes a Prowling Serpapod. Sure. Here comes Xenagos. We might actually see some damage get exchanged right here. I'm very excited about this. It's been 12 turns of bounce and board wipes and just blah. Here comes Sylvan Caryatid. Back to play. Who knows how many times we've seen it already. At least once. Xenagos trigger for our opponent. Gonna put it on the Serpapod, and we will give him the old Kessig Wolf Run. Sadly, we're not making triple mana anymore. And I'm going to leave the Spires up just in case, but +6 seems pretty good. Should get them going on their way. Said, champ, do what you were born to do. Gruul Smash. It's got 20 power. Going into Dave. Let's see if Dave's got answers. He's going to Sphinx's Revelation X3. I think he's trying to leave up a Pongify or a Swords of Plowshares. Is See if he finds it. Doesn't look like it. Got him down to 44. At least he's at a test of endurance range. Ameria trigger. Let's get Aurelia. This feels more comfortable. We draw land. Not helpful. Play the Rogue's Passage. We could put like 12 power on Aurelia? Oh man. Do we just do that? I don't think we need Bedlam at the moment, especially like with Iroas as a pretty good blocker. Yeah, let's get our other stuff into play first, and then we'll see what's left on the Kessig Wolf run. Let's get Marisi back into play. Let's get this Ghostly Prison. It actually doesn't leave all that much left for Kessig Wolf run. That's okay, though. One shot into Dave. Marisi trigger on him. No creatures, though. I'm pretty sure if he plays a creature afterwards, it's not going to matter. It's still not going to be goaded, so... Really wish I got that Hainware Battlements into play earlier. That would have been nice. And we'll take one hit into Champion of Thune just to make sure their creatures aren't attacking us. Marisi trigger on the Xenagos and all of their creatures. And we pass the turn. Here comes Angus back to play. Yep. Getting to be a bit more mana intense. I think that was 7 right there. Doesn't leave him too much other open mana. Here comes Shalai, Voice of Plenty. Yep. And Dave's got 2 open mana. Opponent's going to activate Kirkkeep. Get themselves a Kobold. I was playing with someone who had a Prosh deck the other day, and for the Kobold tokens, they were actually using the original Kobolds, not the token copies, the actual like creature copies out of, what was that, the Dark or Legends or something like that? I think it was Legends. It was pretty funny. Opponent's going to eat the token with the Skull Clamp, draw some cards, yep. Here comes Brion Stoutarm back to play, yep. Here comes Soul Ring, yep. Opponent's creatures are goaded, by the way. They will want to use this Sylvan Caryatid. Actually, no, it has Defender, so it will be fine. Here comes a Vorapede. Can't be countered. Vigilance, Trample, Undying. Weird card out of Dark Ascension. Just had a strange mixture of abilities. Doesn't feel particularly green as a creature. Maybe it's the Vigilance. Maybe it's kind of the weird power or toughness. I don't know. Something about it never felt that green to me. I think I saw somewhere that it was supposed to have haste when it was originally developed, and I think they found out haste was way too strong, so they went with Vigilance instead, but yeah. Here comes Selvala, Heart of the Wilds. That's a real Magic card. Opponent will be able to make a lot of mana. Xenagos trigger. Let's see what they put it on. Gonna put it on the Vorapede. Yup. Vorapede is huge. It's got 10 power. We're gonna send the Prowling Serpent. Yep, opponent's got attack with Prowling Serpent Pod. Also, sending both into Dave. Let's see what Dave's got for it. Gonna throw Shalai in front of the Vorapede. Gonna use Skarg the Rage Pits on the Prowling Serpent Pod, sure. Dave down to 30, loses the Shalai. Alright, we have some choices about our lines of play right here. And I'm not entirely sure. I think we can try and kill Dave, and that's probably what I'm gonna try and do right here. But the choices are, we get Stoneforge Mystic, use Mistveil Plains to put Blackblade Reforged back on the bottom, and then grab Blackblade Reforged and swing with Aurelia for tons and tons of damage. Or we get Famiko, which causes a headache for Angus, means they can't fog. That would be the more ideal play if we know that they will survive for some reason, but with the Stoneforge play, we can kill them if they don't have interaction. I think that's the one I'm going to go for. So Ameria on Stoneforge Mystic. Get the Stoneforge Mystic. Use Mistveil Plains. Put Blackblade Reforged back on the bottom. Selvala triggers, but is not the biggest creature. I really want to play Bedlam, but I don't think it's strategically right to play Bedlam right now. We do have the Ghostly Prison, which helps a little bit, but it's late in the game. People have a lot of mana, so... Ghostly Prison is not the end-all be-all. We do have 2 Maze effects, which is pretty good in combination with other things, but indestructible blocking, yeah, means we should probably hold off on Bedlam. Use the Stoneforge Mystic. Get Blackblade Reforged. I guess on the other hand, if we goad all of Champion's creatures into Brion Stoutarm, that'd be pretty funny. Maybe we're going to play Bedlam. We'll see. There's a Seasons Past. Oh my, that's a good card. What do we get with Seasons Past? We get a lot of things. Well, I think we're going to wait on the Seasons Past for just 1 second. Although, ooh. Hunter's Insight, we could draw our deck. Seems pretty good. We'll see if we need to. Play the Blackblade Reforged. Alright, Blackblade Reforged is getting mana drained. Maybe now we Seasons Past and get it back? Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Seasons Past. Opponent says, if at first you don't succeed, try getting your stuff back again. Yes, indeed. All right, so start with the Blackblade Reforged. We know we want that one. Soul Ring is probably our 1-drop. Yep, get our Soul Ring. Landwise, is Hainware Battlements still in here? There's a Strip Mine. Yeah, Hainware Battlements is in there. We'll get that just in case. We've got 3, 4, and 5 left. Mirari's Wake on 5. 4, I think, is a bit crowded. We get Hunter's Insight on 3. Yeah, it looks like our best 3-drop. And that leaves just a 4-drop. Choices are Famiko, Settle the Wreckage, Windborne Muse, Force of Vigor. I think I'm going to get Settle the Wreckage. Maybe Eureka. Oh, man, I don't know. We'll get Settle the Wreckage. Recast this Blackblade Reforged. Actually, we'll get the Soul Ring first. Use the Homeward Path. Cast the Blackblade Reforged. Who are we putting the Blackblade Reforged on? We can put it on Aurelia, or we can put it on Marisi. I guess we'll put it on Marisi. Marisi's got 23 power. Oh, man, if we got Eureka, we could still drop Bedlam. If we drop Bedlam, we can kill 2 players. That's a thing. Let's try it. Let's try it. Oh, maybe we don't. Actually, no, I don't think we need to. Because if we just goad... Yeah, if we just goad Champions creatures, we should be fine. Actually, no. Well, I guess if they're dying anyway, it's probably not going to matter. Let's cast Bedlam. Oh, no, we don't have double red. No Bedlam. No Bedlam. Okay. We can leave up Settle the Wreckage, though, and that seems fine. Do some attacking. So, first combat into Dave. Aurelia will trigger. Dave's going to try and block. Forgot about the Menace. Funny story, if we played Hunter's Insight, we would draw most of our deck, but I think that would actually be counterproductive at the moment. So, Dave finally goes down. We get 3 Marisi triggers. Finally seeing some Marisi triggers. Turn 13 of this game. Go back to combat. I guess we're just going to try and kill Brion Stoutarm. And then we'll Settle the Wreckage on Champion of Thune. Oh, Tyrant's got some answers. Oh, nice. Opponent can't cast spells during combat. Ah, yes. Nice. Got him with the ability. Opponent says they have a path. Yup. Path not gonna work today. And down they go to commander damage. So that leaves only Champion of Thune. They are at 13. I'm feeling pretty good against them at the moment. Some sort of big red burn could be trouble for us. We are at 14. Have not been able to find that true conviction amongst all the wheels. Get rid of the Sacred Foundry. Don't need the life loss on that. And pass the turn. Sit on Settle the Wreckage. Should keep us safe. Yep, here comes Heroic Intervention. Well, Heroic Intervention does not save them from Settle the Wreckage. Well, it's going to put the trigger on the Vorapede. Yup. No attacks? Oh, right. We have Ghostly Prison out. So, yeah, they can not pay and then not attack. Well, they're going to pass turn like that. Ameria trigger. Let's get the Windborne Muse right here. I think that one makes more sense than Famiko at the moment. And opponent scoops it right there. Oh, we don't get to see the Bedlam. Oh, it was actually going to make sense for us to play Bedlam right there. I was very excited about it. So, this game finally ending. This game was so long. Up to this point right now, this game is 2 hours and 15 minutes long, so that is absurdly long. Most are about 60, maybe 70 minutes unedited, so whew. Here's a quick look at the deck. This deck could be vastly improved. I really just wanted to try out some silly things in this deck. Wanted to try out the Assault Suit. I think it's actually a pretty good idea, and I think going Equipments is actually a pretty good idea for Marisi. I don't think you need too many other creatures in this deck. You'll notice a lower creature count for me, about 17, and that's so we can focus on a lot of other stuff. I was trying to do this Varchild, Rite of the Raging Storm, Hunted Dragon, Bold Weir Heavyweights kind of thing, but we never really saw any of those. I had some other pieces of the Hunted cycle too, but they were taking up a lot of deck slots. There's a lot of good cards at 4 mana now that I wanted to get in. Crescendo of War is a funny one when you're pillow forting. Allow everyone's creatures to be super deadly. Problem is, in this game, there was so much bounce, and there were board wipes and bounce and everything happened at just the right time. No one was really ever able to be, like, threatening with their creatures other than, like, the first 4 turns that the Xenagos came out there. So just a really odd and very slow-paced kind of game. Blind Obedience, all that stuff, taking away haste and everything else. So if you wanted to build a stronger version of the deck, I would say probably just going like straight Voltron and really getting the curve down and not messing around with some of this Rite of the Raging Storm, Hunted Dragon kind of stuff is probably the better way to go with this thing. Varchild is very interesting though because it's so cheap and mana efficient. That's one that I might keep in there. Varchild does have the ability to make people die very quickly, so that one's cool. But yeah, if I wanted to build like a stronger version of this deck, I'd probably just go like full Voltron. And your opponents can't cast spells during combat is surprisingly relevant. It does stop more things than I would normally anticipate that it does. Maybe I've thrown a little bit of shade at Bassandra over the years, but The ability is surprisingly more relevant than I would have anticipated. Now, it still doesn't stop a Cyclonic Rift if they just do it main phase, which is annoying, but it's probably a card worth being in this deck too, right? Bassandra, but... yeah, anyway, fun little deck. Had a good time with it. And Blackblade Reforged really doing a lot of the damage that we needed to right there. Took us a long time to actually see a Marisi trigger, but once we got there, Goad is fun. So I guess the one thing to keep in mind is that the Goad mechanic, not as helpful if people don't have a lot of creatures on board. However, it does mess up combo type of players. Like, if we could have actually gotten a Goad trigger off on the Angus Mackenzie at any point, then it's going to mess them up and they can't hold up their fogs and all that stuff. So, yeah. But anyway, enjoyed the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.